And the Cleveland Browns have made it into the NFL playoffs for the first time in 18 long years.
Going deep, and he's got Braylon Edwards. Oh, he dropped the ball. An NFL high 12th dropped pass.
You suck, you jackass.
Colin Sexton has the Cavs' last 17 points, looking for 20. Oh, my!
You're tuning into the We Like Sportz Podcast with Austin, Keith, Peyton, and Riggs. Make sure to stay tuned for your latest sports news on the We Like Sportz Podcast.
Ropes in my nose. I don't want to play no more.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
Welcome to the We Like Sportz Podcast. My name is Riggs. Also here with Peyton Vince. Also here with Austin.
Yeah?
I haven't seen you in so long, buddy. Yeah, man, it's nice to see you.
What happened
to
your hoodie?
That's
my name. Well, you know...
And also, don't forget Ryan.
Oh, I was going to before I was
had
really
to ask,
interrupted.
Exactly.
See?
Daddy's home. I do have a giant hole in my chest. That's because I'm wearing the signature Dart Break Kids hoodie, live from First Stop Bar and Grill, the greatest, funnest, everything you could ask for, and, you know, a bunch of guys for a good dart team. Great time, great specials. Yeah, that's why I have a hole in my shirt. Got to rep no matter what, even if it's green.
I thought you were just heartless.
Oh,
No,
wow,
I mean, I did make some mean comments to you last night at First Stop, Peyton. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I just need a hug sometimes. That's the difference maker, is the hug.
We're live from our brand new studio here, right upstairs. Hooligans Gym, shout out. Also, shout out KM Voice. And a shout out to everybody here watching us on Facebook, Live, Twitter, Stitch. Did I say that right?
No, he's...
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all forms of social media. We appreciate that. And once again, we're joined by our boy Ryan, a.k.a. Mr. MC No Walk. Thank you for having us here. Oh, there's no Keith Migrant today, but what's new? The boss is always busy, right?
But anyways, as we get to the tip-off, though, the big news coming this week, essentially, the fact that the NFL and Roger Goodell is expecting fans to be welcomed back at full capacity for the 2021 season. Obviously, we're almost on the way to life being somewhat normal. Vaccines aside, whatever. You're actually getting a crowd back. Opening day is tomorrow, and you're having a crowd at Comerica Park when the Indians face the Tigers.
what I want to get into this subject with the NFL is I do see them having full capacity this year, but honest to God, I don't possibly seeing it happening maybe week 1 or week 2. I think they're going to gradually just ease into it. Why not? But at the same time, it's Roger Goodell. He's a kooky billionaire. He can do whatever he wants, and just money talks at the end of the day. But I think that's a bold move and a bold statement for the National Football League. I would like to see that, but in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking they're going to ease into it. How many fans did we get last year in attendance? I think they're going to maybe try to double that some, but full capacity.
And Riggs, they absolutely have to, because, I mean, the only reason that, like, sports are so big, the only reason they're televised, the only reason they make so much money and the reason the players make so much money is because of people being in the stands. So they have to get back to getting to full capacity as quick as they possibly can. And I just see, you're right, I think it'll start off maybe 50%, by that time, hopefully. As long as we don't see another spike, in the hopefully this vaccine works out and we'll be all right. But no, they have to get back to full capacity. They just have to do it, and they got to do it as quick as possible. And I think people are not as scared as Corona as they were. I was never scared at all.
Of course.
And neither were any of us. That's the reason this show exists, is because we made it through quarantine together.
How the hell did we do that even? Like, we flashback a year ago, we were at a completely different studio, which has gone above and beyond since then. No dig there whatsoever. But, I mean, watch out for your red line when you start up that car, though. Anyways, we've upgraded so far along, and we managed to still have a sports podcast from the time being of no sports were going on whatsoever. We were talking about Tom Brady signing with the Buccaneers this time, or around this time last year. Mm-hmm. We were talking about, we had MLB The Show, we had Jensen Lewis and Andy Jardy talking about the MLB The Show league that they had to see where the Indians would have been at. Life's getting back to normal. We have baseball starting tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait.
Right. That's all.
That should be a national holiday. We all should be off for that.
Absolutely. Why aren't we? Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. Where are you at? But I really wanted it to. That's why I addressed him.
Right. Well, since tomorrow's opening day, I'm going to be, looking at the scores when I can, sneaking off to the bathroom at work.
Didn't you get yelled at for going to the bathroom too much at work?
Yeah, but, protein issues, and, it goes right through you. But, but because of opening day tomorrow for the Cleveland Indians, and the fact we're starting on the road, too, right?
Yep, we're in Detroit.
I am a road dog to the fullest. I love when my hometown team starts off on the road or they win on the road, regardless. So, that to me, I like that energy coming back home when we get that home good cooking. Started off for this 2021 campaign, so...
It was the hardest home opener I ever had experienced. I've been to about 7 or 8 of them. But when the Chicago White Sox, they came back, I think this was 2006 or so, 2007 maybe, and Jim Thome hit a 2-run home run right into our bullpen on opening day for the White Sox. He was playing for Chicago.
Yep.
And it's that was back when they had Paul Konerko, Miguel Ordonez was
I
good
hated
back
that
then.
team so much.
Oh, that team was nasty. Miguel Cabrera wasn't even there yet, and that team was really, really good with Paul Konerko back then.
Yeah, and I mean, what's that?
They had big bombs. They had a stacked deck with it. Yeah, you're not gonna get too many base runners and shit like that on that team, but you throw them the wrong pitch, they're bombing it out of the park.
Yeah, taking advantage of it. I mean, of course, who wouldn't?
And that was even with Comerica being a huge park, too. They still put up the numbers, even with, playing all their games in pretty much the biggest ballpark in the league.
Right. But back to our original topic on the NFL wanting to have full capacity at the beginning of the year or whenever, their season's going to start for them. Kudos. Good for them. I know a lot of people, like you guys said, people want to get life started back to what it used to be. I was, sitting at home mad that I couldn't be at a single Cleveland Browns home game this year because of, limited fans, especially during this campaign run. So, yeah, I guarantee there's going to be people out here that are just going to beg for it. Or if we can't go at full capacity, I wouldn't doubt if there's going to be people all around tailgating around the stadiums, rather for social distancing or other stupid reasons. But I would love to see the NFL get full capacity, but it's going to have to be a snowball effect, guys. Don't put your ducks in a row on this, in my honest opinion.
Do you think we have a chance?
March.
Plenty of months before the season starts.
Yeah.
So by that point in time, the vaccine's flowing around and like that, as many people as got it. You're starting to see there's like a little spike going right now in certain places, but nothing major. A lot of places are stopping. I mean, you still have to work with the government, state governments about when you can or how many people you can have in, things like that. There's things to get by, but being that the football season is so far ahead, I think baseball's going to have to contend with it a little bit more right now, getting back to capacity than the NFL will. More like spring volunteer mini camps and shit like that for the NFL. That's going to be one thing. It's like they're expecting to get on the field, but they also said be prepared personally.
Right, and at this time now too, we have Keith Meiger calling in from via phone call instead of Zoom. But we're joined by Keith now. Keith, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
We're doing well.
Doing good, man.
Hey, why did Austin came back for the first time and decided to wear a fucking green shirt on a green screen?
Yes, I did. Hey, Dark Break Kids, baby.
You hear that? They said Make-A-Wish Kids, baby.
I think Austin forgot who he was.
Well, I mean, he had an identity crisis from what I heard a couple months ago, but...
Yeah? You guys liking the new studio since I'm not there?
It's
You guys gotta do it
beautiful.
right.
I see there's a PS5 out there. I'm half tempted just to go out there and just hop on that for an hour.
Hey, you touch my PS5, you actually have a hole in your shirt.
Hey, damn, that was so good.
Hey, don't you dare touch my drum set.
Don't touch PS5. You have no idea what the hell I had to do to get that.
Do we want to know?
Well, I mean, actually, Ryan was the one that... Never mind, just kidding.
So
what are we talking about? I got some time.
what are we talking about? We're talking about the fact that Roger Goodell said that they're expecting full capacity at NFL games this upcoming season.
Sponsored by 2 meals.
glorious. That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing.
And we're just recollecting on the fact that we used to be at like this one like auto body shop in the upstairs there, and we ended up hitting that red line when we started our cars, and we were talking about how much progress.
Radio and the fat ass that tried to be a producer but don't know what he's doing.
I think Riggs answered that question for you.
What was his name? Dave Douchebag? No, that's not it.
You got the first name right.
Nonetheless.
Was there another Dave that like went crazy and was a rapist too? I can't remember. There's a lot of dumbass Daves.
There was. Whatever. Like, does he still talk to you on occasion?
We'll talk about that off air.
No, he's in jail. Isn't he?
Not that I know of.
No, that was only for like a weekend.
Oh yeah, that was only for like a weekend. If he was a professional athlete, like this would have been very more entertaining.
Yeah, he'd be in the spotlight all the time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we were just recollecting on the fact that so much has changed within a year, and here we are now talking sports once again, and we're talking baseball in April instead of baseball in July.
Baseball in July. How you like that?
That sounds like Christmas in July, but I wasn't happy that it was that late.
But we're having baseball. That's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely.
What are your thoughts about opening day tomorrow for the Tribe?
I'm scared. Well, it's not really. Yeah, it is opening day. It's not the home opener, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, you're like Ryan said. Your boy Luplo's in center field tomorrow, and Yu Chang's at first.
I still think we should have left Luplo at a bus stop.
Well, I mean, you should have been the one driving him down there at that point and just kind of getting in his ear and just saying how bad he sucks at this point.
No, because I'd have tucked and rolled. I'd have just let the car keep going.
And then you defeat the purpose of leaving him at a bus stop.
Well, no, I mean, like, I would have let him crash into but it doesn't matter.
Figuratively speaking.
No, he sucks ass. Like, he's bad.
But
I don't know how he has a job still.
Well, I mean, you see in center field right now, you don't have that many options, and
You have Bradley Zimmer.
yeah, but he also runs and he pulls a quad.
Well, that's because he's got 6-foot legs.
I have 6-foot legs.
You don't have 6 foot anything.
Damn.
I got a question for you, Keith. So, the Indians home opener, when we do come to Progressive Field and play
Monday. Logan Allen starting.
Who do you see winning the condiment race on day one?
Trojan.
It's
It's Trojan.
ketchup.
It's Trojan.
Is it?
Ketchup wins.
It's Trojan.
Wins hands down.
He said ketchup hands down.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Let's look at the stats. Let's go back. And how many games has Ketchup played? How many races has he raced? And what's his whip? I mean, let's be honest. We got to go to the war. We got to go all these stats. If I was going to put him in my fantasy league.
My fantasy hot dog race.
Oh, John, I'm definitely starting him. Definitely. Because the hot dog can't win. I mean, think about it. The hot dog couldn't win the condiment race because he's a hot dog. The condiments go on it.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, like, ketchup, mustard, your relish, and then whatever the other sugar deal. Yeah, and the onion. I'm going for the mustard all the way to have a good year.
Wait, you said condiment. I was thinking condom.
And that's why you said Trojan.
Yes.
I mean, it was a really bad dad joke. Kind of made me sick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Riggs doesn't want to talk anymore.
Prophylactic.
So less than 24 hours to go. Francisco Lindor self-imposed contracts. You guys talk about that yet?
Oh my God!
We haven't gotten there yet.
Pete Alonso told the Mets that they should pay him $400 million.
Woo.
He's not worth $400 million. He's not worth $200 million. He's not worth $100 million. He's not worth $90 million. He's not worth $80 million. He's not worth $60 million. He's a $70 million player.
Honestly, I know we talked about this last week, but a lot of people are like Jose Ramirez homered against the Diamondbacks earlier in the week, and then you go from there, and people are like, "Oh, well, we should talk an extension now." And honestly, I think Jose Ramirez deserves more money than Francisco Lindor. You need to extend him now. You already have to wait for Shane Bieber till next year because he said he's not doing the talks during the season like Lindor said, which scares me.
Right, but the only thing is that's not going to happen anyways.
And I also feel
you understand they're not going to extend anything. Why would? Oh, hey, I gotta go. I'll call you back.
All right, business, man.
Business, exactly. Shout out to Keith right there for joining us on the show. But I do kind of like what you said, how Ramirez, is a little bit more valuable than Lindor wherever he lands, because the man Ramirez played with stitches in his hand.
Yeah,
with stitches in his hand, like that's hats off. I'm buying you a drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like that's MVP stat. It depends on how good he was on the field, but that's some grit and grind stuff right there, man. Like,
I've always been more of a fan, I think, of Jose Ramirez than I have with Lindor. I mean, Lindor. Also Jose Ramirez.
He came out on fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really weren't paying attention to him, and he came up, and you're kind of like, oh, well, he's not that bad. And
Right.
Exploded.
We've been watching Lindor for almost 10 years now. Like, the kid was 18 years old, 19 years old, something like that, and like all anybody could talk about was, hey, Francisco Lindor's going to be something. And then he came up when he was like 23.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like we were following him for literally 4 or 5 years, even before he even made it to the league. Jose just came out of nowhere. And it's kind of good to have a guy like that that's,
under the
not
radar.
gonna. He's very under the radar. You could probably get him for a good deal. And honestly, he's never going to have that stardom, mainly probably because his English isn't very good. But, the dude's just focused on playing baseball. He's not focused about anything else. I mean, Lindor's he's like a brand, He's not a player, he's a brand.
I like that.
Already has a marketing problem with its players anyway.
Yep.
You've got guys out there like they again, Trout, you got Harper, all these guys, they just do not market them well. They just never have.
That's baseball, though. That's the way it is, and that's the way.
In the MLB,
Yeah.
like I said, the MLB across the board, they do not market their superstars very well.
Also, one more thing I want to talk about with Ramirez is I like the fact that when he comes to the plate, he's got a mouthful of seeds or tobacco. And
Oh, it's Backy, man.
Is it? It's just he looks so you don't know if he's in a good mood, in a bad mood, if he's thinking on some stuff off the field.
He's just focused in his game. There was so many times, and we have to get in the ring soon too, but there's so many times when Jose Ramirez was having that, what was it, when he was 1 home run shy of 40 home runs, and so many people were like, oh, well, you have him doing PEDs, you have him doing this, you have him doing that. You have how much of that bullshit in your ear about the fact that you're doing something and you're clean in reality and you're just performing well because you're a good-ass ball player. You're dealing with that off the field, too, and that's getting in your head, and you're a human just like anybody else. It's just like people starting rumors about you. Eventually, you could be as strong as possible, but eventually you need to end up either A, blocking out the haters, or B, you end up crumbling to the haters because you believe it and you fall into their negativity. It takes a lot to be a ball player. Spanish, English, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could understand that language, and especially being here for as long as he has.
Another reason I think it's hard to market baseball players as much as do the NBA or the NFL is baseball has 162 games. You're literally playing almost half the year your sport plus your training every other time. Like, there's no time to market. NBA is 82 games. That's in half. So they have 82 extra days that baseball players don't put work in for to be able to do that. Same thing with football. I mean, it's
16 now, 17 weeks.
Know, I mean, you got to prep, but still you have time to do that stuff. Baseball, no, you're playing almost every day. And
there's no downtime.
You got the winter to market. That's it.
Downtime. There's still that winter where you can go and again get deals and things like that.
Yeah.
Put out there. I mean, instead of like with the Indians, you see our most popular player got a Mr. Heroes commercial or some Windows Direct commercial or things like that.
Hey, that place, I swear, I've gone through that tunnel.
I'm just thinking of all the cheesy Kia. Hi, Francisco Lindor here for Kia. You just that's
I want to
hilarious.
see you in a Ken Ganley Kia.
Stuff like that.
Not a sponsor.
Right, not a sponsor.
Just throwing it out there.
But anyways, we have to get into the ring. I believe this week I was going to put my belt on the line. I'm the Get in the Ring champion now, too. I beat Stephen R. Smith.
Damn good.
Don't ask me which peanut butter is better, creamy or chunky. Come on.
It's creamy.
That's what I had, right?
Yeah, but just the way your delivery and the way you presented that Get in the Ring, it was just, that's why Stephen R. Smith, he had no choice.
I beat Stephen R. Smith at his own game. That's what happened.
Hey, when you go on vacation, you got to give the belt up before. It's just the way of the rule. It's the rule. It's written in stone. Especially, you always go out on your back,
Yeah, and that's why I'm not defending it, because I'm not going on vacation anytime soon. But I'm not defending it this week.
I think you should defend it against Ryan.
No, I think it's going to be Austin against Riggs.
No, I think you should defend it against Ryan.
But I would like to see Ryan get in the ring, though, soon.
I want to see Ryan get in the ring, and I think he deserves
If
an
not
automatic
this week,
title
then
shot.
next week I would like that.
I think he deserves an automatic title shot.
I think it's next week that Ryan's going to end up being there.
I like
But-
it.
I got the question this week.
Yeah, true. We text about that.
So, what we're going to end up doing, though, is I'm going to throw you a curveball, though, because we could never have somebody mentally prepare yourself. So, since it's going to be Austin against Riggs, and I want that full discussion for your topic, Ryan, I definitely want to hit on that because that's going to be something that could be talked about forever.
That'd be a good segment for later, so we'll get into that later.
So, we're going to end up having, the question being, is Francisco Lindor the new villain of baseball? Because honestly, you could say yes, you could say no, but he's turning into somebody that is going to be hated besides Cleveland fans, I think. But whoever wants to go first.
If you want to say yes, I'll say no.
That's fine, yeah.
All right, 30 seconds on clock, Peyton. All right, ready? Ding,
Go.
ding. I don't feel like getting the side effect.
So, yes, he is becoming the villain in baseball because he left a small market team and went to the big, not the evil empire, but the evil empire's cousin. The way he is running his mouth and talking about he didn't even try in Game 7 of the biggest game of his life and probably the biggest game that he'll ever play in his life. So if I'm the city of New York, what are you going to do with me in Game 7? That he's not going to look good when he plays around other small market teams, and he's going to make other small market teams have their players feel very insecure, like let's say Jose blah 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 on Team X. Damn it.
You got 3. So you're for Francisco Lindor not being the villain.
Yeah.
All right. So you had 3. Austin's on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go.
First of all, he didn't leave Cleveland. He was actually traded. He was traded because they saw he was not going to be able to afford him. So they trade him. He didn't just sign like a $250 million deal like A-Rod did when he left the Texas Rangers. It's not like he's doing anything like that. Yeah, he's going to demand more money, but his own teammates who just welcomed him to this place is saying, pay the man. Pay the man $400 million. Pete Alonso, the captain of the New York Mets, besides Noah Syndergaard, he literally is vouching for this guy.
You rambled a lot there.
Yeah.
So,
but my 3 points, I think, were better.
But I got 2, though, because the Pete Alonso thing got me, because you're proving an exact point.
Yeah, you already had 2 up there when I said Pete Alonso.
No, the one was about a half a point. You see?
Oh.
I was giving you a half a point. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I thought Ryan was keeping score since he asked the question.
No, this wasn't my question.
This was a curveball.
Oh, God, that's right.
But anyways, though, I mean, really quick, let's elaborate on it. And my eyes are bad, and I don't have my glasses. So let me check and see what the next transition is for when we go to break. So, I mean,
NBA,
is he really the
NBA.
supervillain?
It says NBA.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's
How do you
NBA.
guys see that?
Because I ate my carrots when I was younger, and thanks, Mom.
But anyways, though, like, is he really the supervillain?
No, he's not. You know why? Because he's not that good. He's not as good as everybody's making him out to be, and you can't be the supervillain if you're not at least the second best.
And plus, I think we're the only ones that are mad. I mean, honestly.
Right. And trust me, the entire league loves this. The entire league is loving
because
this.
it's Cleveland once again. Look, we break a curse in 2016, and they still put the magnifying glass on us like they're Bill Nye. It's like, come on.
But the thing is like, I understand right now the frustration with Indians fans. Like, I get it. And I understand the theory of him being the supervillain. But at the same time, he didn't ask to get traded, but all along, though, he fooled us all, though.
It was assumed that he would be traded.
But he fooled us all, though, because he said, this is my city. Everybody's like, I love this guy.
And of course, the New York market, those players can tell their owners, pay the man, pay the man, pay the man. What about our cheap-ass owners?
It's not as much. They're a little different than the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees, you can go pay the man, but they just pay. They don't care. They got unlimited funds to do whatever they want. The Mets, yeah, they're a big market team. They got more money than most, but it's still their organization's been in tatters for quite a long time.
So we're going to end up hitting on this a little bit later on because we're going to talk about the fact of Lindor getting offered a contract and then him countering with a little bit less than his teammate Pete Alonso said. And again, they're like, I know you want to get paid, but look how quick it took the Mets to offer him a long-term contract because they didn't want to let him walk. We'll get into that a little bit more after this break. Actually, a little bit later on. After this break, we're going to end up talking about the NBA and March Madness. And then we'll go to baseball. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the We Like Sportz podcast. Riggs, what have you been doing since last week?
Man, see.
They got another Kiwi?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, right. No, seriously, guys, last week I manscaped. Trust me. Manscaped with the Lawnmower 3.0. It came with a ball shaver, ball toner, and ball deodorant. Your balls, your lady, or your partner, hell, it's 2021, who cares? We'll thank you. Manscaped. Shave your balls, and we'll be right back.
If you're
bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
Why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTS with a Z at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.
Welcome back to the We Like Sportz Podcast. My name's Riggs, here with Peyton Vince, here with Austin, here with Ryan, a.k.a. MC No Walk. Once again, don't want to sound like a broken record. Hooligans, KM Voice, shout out everyone that loves us and appreciate us. Right back to you with full effect. So, we're on the NBA topic today right now, gentlemen.
Yes, we are.
All right, so the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers traded Andre Drummond. Thoughts?
Well, they didn't end up trading him, and I know I said that, but he ended up being, released off waivers. Yeah. No, he wasn't even bought out, but he was off waivers, and they released him. And I was down in Columbus this past week, and I had no idea until 3 days later that it happened, that when he was signing with the Lakers, which is dangerous at this point, because it's not even the fact that we're talking about the Cavs this segment. It's the fact that we're talking about the Lakers and the Nets, because that's the NBA Finals matchup, the way these teams are lining up. But Andre Drummond's going to the Lakers. How much does that help them with LeBron James going down now?
See, I forgot he was down because we did elaborate on that last week. That could help them out in that 5 position, or even if Drummond can play the 4, which he probably can. They're going to... Okay, he's not going to have the explosiveness like LeBron or the athleticism. They're going to have to definitely work around trying to fit him into the system. I don't see them getting over... No, okay, how can I put this? I don't see them, clearing the chessboard of anything like that. And if they do, I'd be absolutely surprised. But he's going to help them out in a big way. Not drastic, but it's going to make some type of void for
I
LeBron.
actually really don't see this move being that big of a deal. It kind of reminds me of when DeMarcus Cousins went to Golden State. And DeMarcus Cousins was a complete all-star every year, year in and year out. He was an all-star for Sacramento. And then when he, went to Golden State, I mean, there was just too much around him. He really didn't do much. And he really wasn't a factor.
I wanted DeMarcus Cousins in the Cavaliers maybe like 17 or 18. And I think me and my friend, we spoke it into existence too much. And it never happened. And plus Sacramento... Golden State, they're like right there, so why not?
And at one point he was playing with the Pelicans too, and Anthony Davis.
Oh crap, yeah.
So
true.
that was right around the time when I was getting big into like FanDuel and DraftKings and stuff. And you had nights that Anthony Davis would be getting like 60 FanDuel points and DeMarcus Cousins is getting like 70 because they're having a ton of rebounds, they're having a ton of points between the two of them. There was one time that like your lineups in DraftKings or FanDuel, usually a good night is like 250 or above, but like one lineup I had like 370 points. Got me like $20 from it for $1 buy-in. That's how good they were together at one point, but DeMarcus Cousins can't stay healthy.
Not at all.
That's the downfall.
That Achilles tendon.
Like that. I mean, on paper, you look at it, you're kind of like, oh, this is additive. Yeah. But if you look at it, it's playoff time. Look at playoff time now. Once you get into the players and you're playing these teams, it's getting they play a little bit more defense, everything like that. So if you're gonna somebody's gonna go small, they're gonna go big. I mean, Drummond is an athletic big guy. So you got another big guy that you can throw out there, clog the lanes, things like that. So I mean, it's a good move, especially because the team got bigger, so now they got a bigger team because they weren't very big. I mean, Anthony Davis, he's big, but he's not a banger. Drummond's a banger.
But
he's not a good ball handler, though.
The thing is,
He doesn't need to handle the ball, but he's clogging up the lane. You got to clog that lane.
The thing is with Drummond, though, and this is probably the reason why I don't think it's a big factor that they even got him, is because you never you never see Andre Drummond on the court at the end of the fourth quarter. You just never see it. He's always on the bench, like at the end of the fourth quarter. If it's like a close game, he's not on the court.
The one thing I also don't like about this thing is just that, I'm sorry, I don't like the big market cities. The Los Angeles Lakers can kiss my ass and read between the lines. Like, what else you're the defending world champions. Like, did you really need to fill that void? You're the defending world champions. Let's see what you look like with your back against the wall. And what I mean by that, your king is not on the court anymore. So do what a real champion does and try your hardest. But guess what? You got to get Andre Drummond over there. It's just, I hate big market teams.
They really don't give a shit about the regular season. They know they're going to get the playoffs, and that's all that matters.
Exactly. Yeah, they're on cruise control, and which is nice. But you can't be on cruise control for so long because, what if a damn deer pops up? You're gonna have to hit the brakes and figure out and actually use your brain. I'm trying to throw that in like a basketball aspect.
That's why they got Drummond. that deer comes out, they're like, wow, we didn't pick this guy up.
Fuck the Lakers. I'm sorry. I love Kobe, but fuck the Lakers.
Stack that deck.
So, on the flip side now, with Andre Drummond getting signed by the Lakers, LeBron being hurt now for a long-term period of play, which ironically enough, like we said last week, he's going to be healthy probably by the time the playoffs come around. How ironic. But then in return...
Comes back about 10 games. About 10 games right before the playoffs. You're going to get him out there.
Ease your way in.
Just ease into that first game.
Yeah, because he's got to go do a Space Jam coverage and... I feel like I'm Keith right now. That's funny. Yeah, because you got to do a Space Jam coverage and go on stupid bikes. I hate them.
But anyways, but anyways, with that counter move that the Nets made is that they signed Lamarcus Aldridge, another big man, and now you have like the teams that the way they're lining up for the Lakers and the Nets. They're literally star-studded lineups. They're not messing around. You have, and it's funny too because I saw this meme with the Lakers having LeBron James, and now the Nets have Lamarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. They're building a super team to compete with LeBron and Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond. How much
They already did a good job.
That doesn't make the league fun anymore. This does not make and this is why some people ask me like, old man Chuck at work, like, oh, did you watch the NBA yesterday? I'm like, no, dude, like, because it's just, everybody is just all on super teams. Like, when I look at guys like Lamarcus Aldridge, I'm sorry, to me, you are forever a San Antonio Spur.
Absolutely.
And
Portland Trailblazer, dude.
Oh, that too. Oh, yeah, damn
but
it.
in
I'm
the
getting
end,
him
though,
confused with someone else.
No, like his time
just,
with the Spurs is when he was in his prime. Beforehand, when he was a Trailblazer,
Him and Damian Lillard.
They had a good team, but Lamarcus Aldridge proved himself more when he was with the Spurs, and he took over that void that Tim Duncan left. That's the big key.
And like I feel like they're building Brooklyn, New York. I'm not gonna call Brooklyn, New York a small market because they're connected to New York City and that 5 big ass boroughs. So I'm gonna call them like a mediocre market. And I know that city is starved for an NBA title, and that city, you know, it's just it's not entertaining to me watching these super teams get built around the National Basketball Association. Like it's,
There's no disparity. You have no disparity.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh man, that one time. That's all you gotta get is one time. Like you ain't seen that in the NBA. There ain't that one time.
Right.
Where one just like sneaks up on you, like, oh my God, it was the Kansas City Royals that won or some shit like that. No. Lakers.
Do you guys think that New Jersey Nets fans hate the Brooklyn Nets?
Oh, okay. So like beforehand, when
like
they were
if
trash,
you were a New Jersey Nets fan back in the day, and you're from Jersey,
and you had Darren Williams,
do you think
and
no, you had Jason Kidd, you had Richard Jefferson, you had Vince Carter. Do you think the fans of that team dislike Brooklyn, or do you think they actually like them?
Because they're still close. I mean,
right.
If they moved, like okay, so like a Raiders, when the Raiders went to Las Vegas, you're gonna have some slighted fans like, I'm not driving to Vegas to see this shit. But Jersey, I mean, you're going across the bridge into Brooklyn.
Right.
So
I just know like New York people and New Jersey people have like this big like biff with each other, and they don't like each other. Like, oh, you're from New Jersey? Like, if you're from New York, that's what you think of, you know? So, like, I'm just like, oh, God, they went to New York. I don't want to root for them anymore.
And the Jets play in Jersey.
Right?
yeah, that is
That's
true, and they're New York teams.
That is true.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I said, if they moved farther, like if they took the Nets away and moved them down to Florida or something like that, yeah, I bet somebody has something to say about it. But I'm sure there are some, but
Gotcha.
those Nets fans that were pissed off if they win the title, I bet you they jump on that bandwagon.
So
yeah,
speaking of bandwagon, because I want to hit on this point too, because at this point I don't even think there's any like doubt that the finals are going to be the Lakers against the Nets. It's literally everybody is setting up for that, and they're getting not these like big threes, big fours. Like you're getting super teams that now your bench players are stronger when the Warriors were in their prime and their dynasty run. You have, and this is what I love about basketball, is Jeannie Buss, which is the Lakers owner. She said, bring it on when she was asked about the Nets' recent moves. Bring it on. Bring out the best in us. Like, I'm going to end up matching you one way or another, and that's your owner having your back. that says something because that just, like, you believe in your team, and that's what you need to have.
You got the franchise, you got...
I think they go until May, like mid-May.
Sometimes that's where you'll catch at least a little disparity. Something looking too far down the road, somebody catch up, sneak up on you.
Gotcha.
And the thing is like a step further. So you have Jeannie Buss saying that, and now I saw this on social media. It was a picture, and there's no source behind it, no truthfulness. So I'll just throw in this keyword called allegedly. But LeBron was allegedly recruiting Steph Curry to be on the Lakers.
I'll smack somebody, dude.
Like, imagine that team now. You have...
Oh, no, like, I barely watch basketball now, at least pros. If that happened, I think I wouldn't watch it at all. I just quit. I'm just not even going to watch it.
I will beg for them to veto that trade, like when Chris Paul was a Laker for like an hour.
3 days?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, like...
What happened to that shit? What happened to that shit when that was going on? What happened to when Chris Paul was trying to get the hell out of Dodge? They're like, nah, you can't do that.
And you were about the Lakers.
Are they like, what, 2 years later? Now it's just like free-for-all?
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Like, you had the point of controlling everything to the point of we lost all control. And notice who was in charge, too, back at that when they denied him. It wasn't Adam Silver. Adam Silver wants to do it his way. It's a different way. Everybody has a different way of modeling their league. What's that?
He looks like Nosferatu, vampire.
Adam Silver.
Yeah, Silver. Yeah.
Which show is he from?
SpongeBob.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And he's a beer.
Nosferatu.
And he's a beer?
Great Lakes has a beer named after him. It comes out around Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I never knew that.
It's a very, very, very dark beer. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's a rough one.
Bush lattes. Which, ironically enough, I don't know if he's still watching, but Justin Rouse, shout out to him in the comments section. I'll read his comment word for word. But he said, "Remember when Peyton never brought us beer? Hashtag Brew Crew." That's his team. So I want to at least acknowledge that because I screwed up. So I'm sorry about that.
What, did you strike out?
I didn't strike. We're on different teams.
Oh.
I said I was going to go over, and it didn't end up happening that way.
I just know that if you strike out in softball, you owe like
a case
round
of beer
or
usually.
A case of beer. So I'm figuring like that was what it was. Since
nope.
you probably do that a lot.
You have to drink a case of beer to miss that ball?
that is fair. I don't know if he was adding anything more. That's why.
I'm like picturing somebody just biffing, just not even.
It definitely does happen.
Oh, I'm sure.
To you?
No, I've never struck out in softball.
How many times have you fouled
I fouled out? Yeah, it's a different story.
Fouled out.
But like, it is what it is. Anyways, March Madness. March Madness. Final four set. You have UCLA against Gonzaga, and you have Baylor against Houston.
UCLA, baby.
And UCLA is an 11-seeded team.
You got Gonzaga all the way, right?
I do, but I kind of want UCLA to win because my bracket's trash at this point.
Except for everything else, Zags is the only thing that's left.
And it doesn't matter because I already lost. Like, it's already in the book. Somebody else has Baylor and whoever, so it is what it is. I'm already out of it. I just want to see the Cinderella story. You have UCLA. Like,
I mean, who wouldn't? Like, that's a good ratings draw. They are a very known school, and you guys know me. I do like that. And I'm sorry, Loyal Chicago got kicked out of the tournament. You know, I like those low-grade Division whatever schools making their way into a Final Four, but it just wasn't in the cards for them this year. So UCLA, like, it's hard for me not to think of Carlton Banks with the peacock because, you know, in the Fresh Prince, that was supposed to be UCLA on that television show. So, you know, kudos to that and everything. But Gonzaga looks like a very big powerhouse in this, and they're a heavy favorite, which is nice. But I would love to see Gonzaga get knocked on their ass and surprised.
I like to see it, but I also feel bad for Gonzaga because they always get close, but they never get it.
and the fact that they're undefeated too.
I mean, if any, like I'm watching them play, and they're playing chess when everybody's playing checkers. Fundamentally, we're talking about bounce passes. They're throwing it around. They're getting in the lane. They're just finger rolling layups. They're getting in it's sound basketball. The only thing that's going to take them out is if they falter defensively. They've been great defensively, but if they falter defensively, then that's going to be where it is because UCLA hasn't scored over 70 yet.
Yeah, that is true, but when they have been playing, though, I've always ended up feeling when it was Michigan State against UCLA, they were down that game. I fell asleep, and UCLA ended up winning in overtime.
Oh, they're scrappy, for sure.
And something was telling me, UCLA, I really wish that I didn't make my bracket already because I think they could end up making a run. And sure enough, that's what you're seeing. I think they could beat Gonzaga easily.
Oh, they could. No, they could. I don't know about easily, but I think they could beat them. But like I said, I think the only way UCLA wins is if the Zags fall apart on the defensive end, or they just stop scoring. If they stop scoring, but I've seen nothing that's going to stop them offensively because they're a juggernaut offensively. And then you're talking top to the bottom. Everybody that comes off the bench, they can get in there and they can score. And again, defensively too, they're just sound on all ends. So something's going to have to falter for UCLA, or they're going to have to pick lights out. They just got to keep up. They got to stay in the game.
Well, Joseph Bish also, I like two of his comments. He said, I heard Peyton owes a lot of beer after this past weekend. And he's got Gonzaga basically going all the way. And that Gonzaga team is the best since the 1976 Hoosiers, which I'm not familiar with that 76 team. I'll do my research on that. So
I would agree with him. It's like I said, they are a fundamentally sound team. They just are a team. They play as a team. They play defense as a team, which is a lot of things you don't see these days.
So when you say they're a fundamentally sound team, I'm going to compare them to a professional team, the San Antonio Spurs under Greg Popovich, right?
As far as professionally wise, like a coach said, it concentrates on fundamentals, playing solid defense, things like that. Yeah.
Like people consider it boring, but this is really how you're supposed to play the game.
It's very
right. No one's chewing on mouth guards and.
They're weaving, you know what I mean? They're weaving through your motion offense. Basically, it's all it's motion. They keep moving. They're weaving through traffic. They're going over. They're pushing side to side. Because the difference also in college is they play zone defense. They don't play zone defense in the NBA.
Okay.
You see a lot of 2-3, 1-3-1, 3-2, just shifting. They always shift.
And then you might see.
Always running motions.
And then you might see James Harden trying to play man to man against somebody.
Well, yeah. Then you're gonna see.
Right.
That's not a travel somehow?
It's that double step back, and then it goes.
So, throughout March Madness, I want to ask this question before we actually get into the Final Four. But when it comes to March Madness, is it just me or are more people playing, lockdown defense this year compared to past years? You're having, when games are close, that they're literally in your face guarding you when they're down by 5 points. They're playing hard defense from the start of the game to the end. They're not. That's why you had an Oral Roberts that played so well, is because they played right up your ass almost.
Oh yeah, that's it. But that's a big thing. That's why people with the Big Ten, Big Ten, they were the Big Ten for years, especially for the past, I'd say 7 or 8 years. Maybe farther than that, but it was another thing. Most of the teams in the Big Ten defensively sound teams. Even if they're not scoring, their defense, the coaches that just come through, they just put it in. And then they kind of put it together and they started scoring, also playing defense. They beat the shit out of each other this year. And that's why they expected the Elite Eight, being multiple Big Ten teams. Multiple Big Ten teams in the Final Four, and they all should bet.
Hell yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to add on that before we get into the last NBA March Madness topic when it comes down to the brackets?
First play-in team to make it to the Final Four in NCAA history.
It's crazy to see that.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even on the bracket at the time when most people filled it out. That was just taking a guess and saying, all right, it's this matchup. I'm going to end up taking this, whoever this winner is between Michigan State and UCLA, and I'm going to have them in the Final Four. What drugs do you have to be on to be that lucky, or else guess that lucky that that's the way it was?
Well, if you compare it, it's if you want to go to the NFL, I guess the thing that popped in my head is the Giants. When the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, they were the last team in. They had the longest road to get there and got there and finished it all.
Yeah. Oh, that 9-7 Giants team?
Yep.
Yeah.
The helmet catch, everything. They had a good defense. The offense was kind of but the limit, and then that UCLA is going to have to do that. That's just what it comes down to. They're going to have to be more sound or on par with them to win that game.
You realize, though, if UCLA ends up winning against Gonzaga, win or lose in the national championship game, majority of that My Shining Moment like video clip, that's going to have a lot of them in it. Like that in Alabama, if you don't have that Alabama player that tied the game against UCLA to take it into overtime and didn't tie the game, just he drained it and it was nothing but net. If that's not in the video package, I'm rioting. Like, that was a terrible. Like,
I think actually those video packages are just because there's so many upsets. There's going to be a lot of Oral Bob and all them being in there. Just, there should be a lot of that.
Oral Bob.
Oral Bob.
Right, Oral Bob. Oh man, I'm a child.
we are all children.
Right now, it's probably one of the greatest runs in history. First time, but it just almost you'll forget about it if they don't win it.
Yeah, I mean, you're honestly right. And the last topic for March Madness, there's 14.7 million brackets filled out this year. 2,873 got the Final Four right.
What?
Out of 14 million?
14.7 million, 2,873 people nailed the Final Four, being Gonzaga, UCLA, Houston, Baylor.
Damn.
They still have and that's not even having a perfect bracket.
That's just the Final Four, and that's .0027, I think.
Mainly the people that actually thought that UCLA could do it.
It's all UCLA fans. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But you still, like, even if you're a UCLA fan, you have to figure out Gonzaga's still there, Baylor's still there, and Houston. You have to.
But I mean, you're talking about you said 14.7 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 2,000 out of 14.7.
Like, the numbers are crazy because, like, my bracket wasn't even close. Like, yours was blown up on the first day.
Mine was destroyed the first day. It was done.
Did you end up filling out a bracket, Austin?
I did not.
Fair enough.
But I did have Oral Bob going to the Final Four.
Everybody gets excited over Oral Bob. Oh, man. But honestly, the fact that when it comes down to those numbers, though, that's 2,873 people that just took a wild guess.
Right. Just rolled the dice, daddy needs new shoes.
Taking a wild guess at the whole thing. Those guesses were just incredible.
Like, it's just... By the time...
That's on the line of actually having foresight.
Yeah.
Also, you got to figure that it's probably like half of them are just like middle-aged women in an office in a pool somewhere, and they're just used to hearing UCLA's name and just probably picked UCLA.
I like their uniforms.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yep.
I do like that blue.
But when we end up coming back next Wednesday to talk about the national championship game, who do you guys think end up winning the Final Four, and who wins the national championship?
UCLA and Baylor, and then UCLA is going to win it all.
I'm going to say...
I'm on the bandwagon.
F it. Let's say... I'm going to say... Nah, let's go Baylor wins it all. Why not
Baylor? Ryan, who do you have?
I think it's going to be Houston's, as far as they've come, they've kind of struggled with things like that, so I don't think they're going to get by Baylor.
Yeah, they struggled against Oral Bob.
Yeah, they did. So I think Baylor's going to go through. I think that's going to be the best championship. This is going to be Baylor and Zags. Zags take it.
I want to say like Gonzaga ends up winning it, but at the same time though, UCLA has been playing with momentum, so I think they're going to end up making it to the national championship.
On the same side as Zags because they've been cruising.
Yeah.
Going through. So I mean, it's gonna. I think it should be a good game, but I think in the end, I think it might stay close in the beginning, but I think they'll start spreading it out. I think they're probably going to win by double digits.
I really want, and I think UCLA ends up beating Gonzaga, but I think they lose to Baylor, though. That's who I have. But Anyways, on that note, when we get back from this break, we'll be talking MLB, Jake Bauers, the Indians rotation, Lindor and his money issues. And also, there's a dress code for Progressive Field now, and you end up going there this year. So we'll get to that. What are you looking at?
No, that damn dress code.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called wearing your hometown team colors.
All right, we'll be right back. Riggs is going to Manscaped.
Manscaped. Oral Bob probably does, because that's why he probably got oral.
If you're
bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTS with a Z at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.
Okay. And we are back here at the We Like Sportz Podcast with myself, Riggs. This is Austin right here. Peyton Vince.
Where is he?
Who cares and who knows? Nah, I'm just joking right now.
So now we could really actually talk sports, right?
I guess so, absolutely. Wow, and we're also wearing Browns gear because we know what's up. We know a good football team nowadays. So Ryan's also in the house. KM Voice, Coach Hooligans Gym. Shout out to everybody watching us on all forms of social media. We're going to talk some baseball right now, right?
Yes. Oh, I can't wait. Tomorrow's the day. I mean,
elaborate.
It doesn't matter how much you're disappointed in your team. Doesn't matter how much, you're upset with the moves they made in the offseason. Opening day comes around. This is a national holiday. This is a day to celebrate. I can't wait.
I mean, like, even though it's opening day for certain teams and our team is playing on the road.
No, it's opening day for everybody. It's just the home opener for
okay,
others.
correct. But like I said, once again, to talk about what I said earlier, I love starting on the road. And now we're going to talk about our Cleveland Indians. So far that I've seen a good Cleveland Indians on the road starter, I believe it was the year where we were playing the Texas Rangers. And it was like one of the very first memes or gifs you sent me. Like Francisco Lindor was at the plate. He hits it and they play like the Titanic theme.
Oh, yeah, he hit the grand slam down the right field line.
What, for the playoff game or for the regular season?
It was like a regular season, like the first opener. It was not first opener, but we were in Texas, and I was like,
oh, yeah, when he ended up leaning back. I remember that.
The chick was mad, just moments like that. I
don't care if you could put Titanic in that, any kind of sports movement or moment. That's my favorite thing to watch. I'll cry. I'm not afraid. Lindor hitting that home run against the Yankees and you have Titanic playing behind it. I'll cry. I'm not afraid. I'm not a bitch.
There was plenty of room on that damn door. Jack should have lived.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways, as we end up coming back, we had plenty of competitions this year, but now it's set in stone. You have Jake Bauers that got the first base job for the Indians, although Yu Chang is starting tomorrow, so we'll raise a little bit of questions, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how Yu Chang does at first. You have Jordan Luplow in center, but you also have Amid Rosario and Bradley Zimmer all playing that position as well. That was a position battle to figure out what was going on there. It's very interesting to see how this team's going to end up.
It's still a battle. I feel like it's still a battle.
Well, they want to end up platooning them, of course.
Well, that's the thing. That means that whenever they say we're going to platoon, that means there's questions. That means we don't know.
Yep.
I mean,
and we've experienced that in the outfield for years now. Probably ever since we lost Brantley, there's never been a single outfielder for the Cleveland Indians that's been an everyday starter.
So no true outfielder for the Cleveland Indians since Michael Brantley. I like that. Okay. And now that you shed light on that, that does absolutely make sense because, just looking at left field, at progressive field, I'm used to seeing Michael Brantley right there.
Or Shin-Soo Choo in the right back in the day.
Yep.
You just knew you knew who was gonna be in that spot, and we just haven't had any consistency out there.
I would say we haven't had a full, healthy, complete anchor at center field, main guy, probably since Kenny Lofton.
I knew that was happening. Everybody's favorite.
I mean, I was a big Grady guy. I like Grady Sizemore.
Grady was always hurt. So
He was.
He wasn't healthy. So like I said, healthy every day. There was no doubt. We knew coming in who's in center. Kenny Lofton's in center. There was no doubt. There was just no doubt. But even at that time, Al Rebel left. Ramirez is gonna play right. It was always. We knew our outfield. That was the only time that we've actually had a solid outfield. That was just it. Could swing the bat, play defense, everything was there.
I mean,
Manny wasn't being Manning yet. Manny
was actually being educated, somewhat.
That was when he was spotty because I remember going to those games. It was I don't know if it was opening day, but it was when the Jake opened. It was within the first 5 games.
Like 94.
Yeah, we were going to the game. We were on the RT and it snowed, so we had to basically turn around and come back. But we had multiple games during that season, and that's when Manny, we'd be like, damn, we just got to leave. And then you leave, and then about 2 in the morning at inning 14, Manny Ramirez bombs one over the center field wall to win the game.
And the thing is too is that looking back, I know we mentioned it a little bit earlier on with opening day. What was the most memorable opening day moment for you guys? Because for me personally, it would probably be, I think it was 2010 or 2009 when it was the Indians against the Blue Jays, and it was very cold that year. And there was a rain delay, and after that rain delay, I was with my grandmother, and she wanted to go home, and I wanted to stay. Nobody ended up staying for the rest of the game, and you actually heard, I think who was pitching was Mitch Talbot, grunting every single pitch because nobody was there. The ballpark was that empty.
I was there. That is actually my memory too. Like my favorite. It's my least favorite memory, but it's the most memorable for me. Because I mean, it was still like in the 50s at game time. You know, it was actually kind of nice. And I wore cargo shorts and a long sleeve Nike Pro Combat shirt, and that was it. And about 7 o'clock hit, and it just, the temperature,
because that was a 4 o'clock game, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I stayed there the entire time, and man, it was so cold. It was so cold. I just didn't dress for the weather, but I ain't gonna leave. I never leave a game early. Never can.
Well, like if I had an option, I wouldn't have. Like I would have ended up meeting you that night.
I would have had a hoodie. I would have wore a hoodie or at least long pants, because man, it sucked.
I bet it did. My favorite opening day moment, it's a simple one. I remember it was when Terry Francona first became our manager in that very first game at home, and just hearing the announcers just talk, this coach is this person, second base, not second base, but like third is this person. Francona's the manager. Here's Nick Swisher, shout out to Keith. Here's Michael Bourne. Here's this person, Asdrubal Cabrera. And
I was there when Swisher hit that 3-run homer on opening day.
Oh!
And the OH and him and Kipnis had like the greatest handshake ever.
Okay. But yeah, just hearing, Hamlin just represent our team with that pride in the voice, and seeing Tito for the first time being happy. And I was like, I'm going to pay attention to baseball, and I can tell this guy who broke the curse over in Boston, he really cares, and he wants to manage here. He's not here for a paycheck. And then doing my research and knowing that Francona's father played for the Indians, I believe, right? Yep. So it made me more
the original Tito.
Exactly right. So it made me very more interested to be a Cleveland Indians fan. But I will never forget that very first home opener that Francona got to be as a Cleveland Indians manager.
Ryan, which one was yours for opening day?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if we want to go recent, was when Bieber took them out, and we had questions about what was going on last year, and Bieber comes out there on fire, 14 days done. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Yeah, honestly.
Damn.
And like Shane Bieber, literally, that was the start of him proving himself as the ace of this rotation, and that was.
We were all worried too, because we didn't know if Kluber was gone. We didn't know what the hell was going on, and then they came out on fire.
And that was the biggest key. Is like obviously like anything in life, once you gain momentum, things change, and you had everybody in Cleveland believing in your starting pitcher after you had Corey Kluber, who's playing for the Yankees now, and I think he's the 2 in their rotation. Huh. So you got that belief, especially after that long turnaround of not having baseball for 2 months, and you're staying loose, doing this, that, the other thing. Then you come out and you have Shane Bieber probably pitch his first best game ever in an Indians uniform at the big league level. He could do it, but the fact that he could step in Kluber's shoes and do it was enough to prove a lot for Indians fans. He was
the All-Star MVP the year before, though.
That was in 1 inning, though, and it was in Cleveland. That's why, like, it's not to take it away from him, but...
I mean, it was just that whole thing, like, that year he came up, and then we saw what he could be, and then you lose things, and then he moves all the way to the top with just that little bit. You're kind of like, what are we going to get? And then you come out the gate, team record. So it's like, okay, let's put that at ease. And then, but the problem with that now, as I see, is we're probably going to have the same thing, and we can't put runs.
Yeah, yep. Absolutely. Yes. So, with the Indians' rotation...
Two runs. It's 2 runs.
So, with the Indians' rotation, we have Shane Bieber, probably... I'm not going to end up quoting the exact version of the rotation, but it's going to be some capacity of Shane Bieber, Aaron Savali, Zach Plesac, Tristan McKenzie, and your 5 is going to be Logan Allen, which Logan Allen is the first or not the first, but the 7th lefty to start in the Indians rotation this decade. Or this past decade, not this decade. But you only had guys like Shane Kazmir, Bruce Chen. I even had the list up at one point, but they didn't have very many lefties, and you have a lefty, and the Indians have been successful with pitching without that lefty in the rotation. So what could they do now when you have a lefty there to break up the righties you see 5 straight days in a row?
Anybody?
I really don't know. I mean, like,
Right, yeah,
we
like
haven't had to have that, situation happen in a very long time. I can't even tell you the last guy that was a lefty starter for the Indians. I mean,
Back into the rotations also, because I was reading some stuff today before we got on, and just going through the lineups and things like that of why Bradley wasn't on and Bauer made it over him, things like that. But they said they're keeping 8 relievers in. They think that they're going to start McKenzie and Quantrill in the pen for the first 2 weeks.
I thought you were counting in Spanish with that last one.
Oh, you sound like me.
I wasn't even trying to joke, but I'm like, oh.
I hate you so much. But the thing is, though, is that Logan Allen has, he's going to have the opportunity to be in the rotation. It's planned that that's going to happen. So him in the rotation, you have Savali. Pletka was once a thought in the rotation, but they traded him away to the Orioles for cash. So
I'm okay with that.
He would be a good bullpen piece, but I don't see him fitting in the rotation. That's the difference. So, I mean, what kind of pressure does Logan Allen have? Because they say that this game, the Indians home opener, will have Logan Allen either as the opener for that game, depending on how many innings he's prepared for, or the starter. And that's your first game at home. Not only your first game at home, but your first game at home that actually has fans since 2019.
Yeah, no cardboard cutouts too, right? The pressure. Oh man, you better be ready, guys, this year.
He's out on fire right now. What do we have? So his ERA coming out of spring was .64, 18 Ks, 3 walks. So he's the guy that came out of spring training the most on fire.
And he was the one that was traded away with the Franmil Reyes trade, right? I'm 99% sure.
I think you're right.
And
who was that?
That trade that we ended up sending, was that the Trevor Bauer trade? When we ended up trading Bauer and you got Puig, Franmil Reyes, Owen Miller, Logan Allen. You had another pitcher in there too. That's
Quantrill we got, I think, in that deal too.
No, Quantrill was the one with Clevenger in the Padres.
Oh, yeah.
Because, trade partners, and now the Padres are actually contenders. They're like major league.
Not
They're
because of
contenders
us.
now.
Not because of us.
Also, I forgot, and this is completely sidetracked, but I forgot what the question was, but I saw it on Twitter. It was something of the capacity of what Indians prospect didn't pan out that should have. And the name that I thought immediately, people said Matt Laporta. People had a good amount of names, but right away I thought Francisco Mejia. He has not done anything since being with the Padres.
That's a damn good one. Yeah, I haven't really heard anything until you just said his name right now. So what does that tell you, everybody?
Like you had Austin Hedges was in the trade.
He's so undersized. I mean, he is such a small guy. I mean, he's a little guy.
But you had how many? Like he had how many consecutive games with a hit, and you had so much potential that people were believing in him, and nobody wanted him to go. The fact that he had to go for Brad Hand, I think that was that trade, again with the Padres. But you had to let him go, and you didn't want to because you didn't know Roberto Perez would be Roberto Perez that he is today. Jan Gomes was pretty much already on his way out. And Francisco Mejia was the one that you believed in, and people were disappointed because that was eventually a piece that was going to be in the Jonathan LaCroix trade that didn't even happen, that fell through, and that was a blessing in disguise, people thought. But in the reality, if we kept him, he would probably be in the same position he is with the Padres, not doing anything.
Jan Gomes was my dude.
Can I make a comment really quick? I don't know if he's watching, but it made me laugh. And I heard this over the weekend in Columbus. Bo, that's one of the umpires down there, he was watching last week, and he said, tell your dude that's on the podcast with you that he needs to speak more black because he sounds like a white guy when he talks.
That's something we're going to get into. We're gonna get into that off air because I don't want to get mad or I don't want to make someone feel lesser than, and I'm being stereotyped because I don't talk like a thug or a gangster. But that's okay. I'm not gonna make you look illiterate here live on air. If you want to discuss that, slide in my DMs, bitch. So anyway,
oh my God,
I'm sorry. I've been told that my whole life, and it pisses me the fuck off.
Does it make you feel better if I tell you that it came from a black guy too?
Oh, yo, I'm beating his ass. Run it, bitch. Let's go.
Jesus
I put that on my mama, bitch. You should have never fucking told me that. God damn it.
When we get back, we'll be discussing some miscellaneous stuff.
I'm hot now. I'm fucking hot.
We got miscellaneous coming. Maybe we'll talk about some other things during the miscellaneous part.
But I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about.
I think you should take us to break.
You know, I don't want to.
Manscaped. Riggs just left to go do that.
Exactly. Manscaped. Sports is the promo code SPORTZ. Don't go anywhere.
If you're
Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTSWITHAZ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped. And use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped. If you're
Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only one, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTS with a Z at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.
Welcome back to the We Like Sportz Podcast with Peyton, Austin, Ryan, and now joined with Stephen R. Smith.
Thank you, everybody, for keeping me on the show today. Last week, I could not be around, or the week before that, because, one, I was down in the state of Columbus with Keith and Tyler, because, one, I need to borrow some money to get my app up and running, and two, excuse me, fellas and gentlemen, and also, your boys going through some thing-a-lang dangs, and I lost to getting the ring championship to this great man right over here, and it was just a great, stupiferous Bobby Boucher's effort on your part and your behalf. And the reason why I say it's a Bobby Boucher effort is because you were the underdog in that situation. You were overlooked and you were harmful to some people. And then you have came out of nowhere, ski, and then you have took it. And I appreciate and I applaud you.
I thought they were mud dogs, not underdogs.
Roof. MC Milwaukee, thank you for having me here. That boy LeConte, he's okay right now. He's been going through a lot since Saturday day. Let me tell you something. You know, the love life is a roller coaster. The sports life, the work life is a roller coaster, baby. So we got some questions right here for your boy today.
Well, I have one question. What's going on with this app?
See, now the app, now that we can talk about this, I'm not April Foolsing nobody starting tomorrow. The app will be up during WrestleMania weekend, April 10th and 11th. During that week, you will get the Stephen R. Smith book. Fantastic wordplay with Stephen R. Smith. And for the Polynesian...
I thought it was called Fabulous Wordplay.
Fantastic, fabulous wordplay with Stephen R. Smith. And say that again.
It's a working title.
Exactly. And the European Somalians are going to get a whole another book. And then I wish my man Keith was right here right now for me. We can go over the app because I get him tickle pink when your boy is here right now in the house. And your boy Peyton Hillis, I asked for some money. I was at his front door and he simply couldn't do it. But I had to be my own man and I did it. I'm going to win the battle and get my app before WrestleMania 37.
So, it's official, though. You're going to have this app out here on Amazon.
On Amazon Live.
I thought it was Amazon Prime Live.
Amazon Prime Live plus.
Is that like XXX?
No, they go this way, not this way.
Do you watch any XXX? I know you're a sex swing guy.
Brother, let me tell you something. It was one ESPN party. And I'm not going to tell you who.
But it's Rachel Penny's, right?
I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to tell you what.
Stormy.
Belana Storm? You know what happened between me and Belana Storm?
I'm talking about Stormy Daniels. Isn't that or no, Hannah Storm.
Belana got the banana.
Your banana?
Why is it that all of the female ESPN reporters all have like porn style names?
Because Sage gives me a steal.
What about Charlie Caruso?
You gotta work the stage name. Charlie. She had got letting go from her other job at the World Wrestling Federation. And, you know, that sucks for that woman. And I wish her well in her future endeavors and her competition going on forth in her personnel and everything like that. And Gentlemen, you just bombard me with many questions. Like, I wish my man Keith was here. I wish my man Keith Magra would call me right now so I can tell him and give him an update on the app. And plus, him and Tyler sent me on my way from Columbus. I think they stranded me at a White Castle because they were gone for about 32 minutes. And I haven't seen them since. Your boy had to hitchhike. Let's talk about my Brooklyn Nets.
The Knickerbockers?
Oh, we gonna get to them too, my Knickerbocker. But my Brooklyn Nets are looking strong. The thong strong. And I'm happy. And
But
I'm
thongs
proud.
aren't even that big of a material. Isn't that a weak? How are thongs strong?
Some of them big apple booties, they gonna have to be strong. And it's nice to see Austin back in this bad mama jamma. And I'm happy that First Stop doesn't have you in a slammer, my mama.
Oh.
So anyways, questions for
You're
Stephen
done
R.
talking?
No, he doesn't stop. He just... Stephen R.
Yes.
Did you watch the UFC fight with Stipe Miocic losing the
Let me tell you
UFC heavyweight championship?
Let me tell you about Stipe Miocic.
Oh,
Shake. Can you guys hear me out there? Stipe, I believe that man, he had the pandemics and built up in his head. I believe that man has all the fighting and the training. I believe that man overworked his own body. Your body is a temple, and I believe his temple was overworked because you're doing the plastering in the wall and the foundation in the basement is not sealed in cement up before the roofers get in. And what happened? He crashed and he collapsed down real quick, like your boy on certain weekends. He went down. Cleveland, you don't got a fighting champion right now, but Stipe, brother, it's back to the drawing board. You go.
I have a feeling that Nagano might be the most...
Watch your mouth.
What? Nagano? His name? I think he actually might be possibly the most dangerous UFC fighter I've seen in a while. Especially in the heavy division. He reminds me of like Brock Lesnar before his stomach issues. Like just absolutely terrifying. And you know, he might get caught. He might get caught every now and again. But I think he might be the most dangerous UFC fighter right now out of any of the weight classes, and I don't see anybody really beating him.
Man. I wish Keith was here. Because Keith, he will get it in line, man. Keith, my man. I wish me and him was traveling up and down the road in New York City while I was going and to Virginia and doing a report on baseball in the Mississippi Mud Hens and do a report.
Wait, hold on. You're
Toledo
going to
Mud
Virginia? You're in Virginia, but you're seeing the Mississippi Mud Hens.
The Mud Hens are in Toledo, dog.
And you're going to Virginia to see a Mississippi team. What the hell?
I met the Roxford Peaches.
The Roxford Peaches. Roxford's in what? Isn't that in like Boston or something?
I think that's New York. No,
The Roxford,
that's
the latest team, the latest baseball team, the Roxford Peaches. You know what I'm talking.
Who are you talking to?
There ain't no crying in baseball.
Man, I got a question for you, Stephen R. So you said your app is released.
Well, I actually, you know those little pop figures? I actually bought a Dottie Henson pop figure for my buddy who collects them. Dottie Henson, the catcher from League of Their Own.
Oh, yeah. Kid Dot, man. The one part of that movie that made your boy sad is when she got that Dear John letter, that Dear Jane letter, when her husband had passed away. Not her in particular, but, and did Madonna look like a bad you-know-what in that movie? And I tell you, Tom Hanks has took the longest piss I've ever seen in my life.
It's got to be some kind of record.
Why'd you go into Mark Wahlberg? Like you ended up going into like a Boston accent when you said record.
That's the way Rosie O'Donnell says it. It must be some kind of record.
LeConte just messaged me. LeConte said he's not mad. LeConte is going through a whole lot, everybody. So when you see Riggs here on the show next week, everything's going to be cool, copacetic. And the young man that he was talking to on the camera, everything's going to be fine.
What's copacetic mean?
Okay, cool, positive, great.
So I got a question for you. You said you're releasing your Amazon app on WrestleMania weekend?
Yes.
Have you seen who might be getting involved for WrestleMania?
No, not at all. I haven't watched the World Wrestling Federation education in quite some time.
The World Wrestling Education Federation or whatever. Logan Paul might be involved
Ew.
with WrestleMania.
Ew.
What are your thoughts on Logan Paul?
I don't like the
I hope
fact.
he gets his butt kicked.
I hope the man gets demolished. I hope the man gets broken like a third grader touching a crayon that he has no business touching on. I do not like the fact that your boy got these YouTube boobas out here thinking that they are box trotters in this world. I want someone to knock that pretty vanilla boy on his keister, on his carcass, on his butt, on his behind, as sooner than possibly, because the man has a big ego and small hands, man.
Surprised it hasn't happened sooner.
So, you're not a fan of Logan Paul being at WrestleMania.
I'm not. You should leave certain things to certain things. I believe the young man is getting bored with his platform on YouTube, and I'm sorry that he has plateaued in that situation. But young man, you got to leave certain things to certain peoples. I don't want to see you embarrass yourself. You are a boy from Ohio, and Ohio ain't got that many people. See, what you need to do is you need to get an education. What you also need to do is you need to help out your community. What you also need to do, you need to manscape.
So, on that note, this was supposed to be a question when Riggs was here, but we didn't have enough time for that. But what are your thoughts on the Indians not allowing the fans to wear Native American headdresses or face paint to Progressive Field this year? That's a free-for-all for anybody, not just Stephen R. Smith.
I mean, that's what COVID really did. It literally made us take a timeout, and now in order to even attend anything anymore, you got to follow literally every single rule. And they had all this time to pretty much just think of as many rules as they could possibly implement, and they're using the fact that we're so deprived from not getting the chance to attend sporting events that they're using in their advantage, and they can do literally whatever they want.
I believe.
Well, it makes sense, though, because if you're going to change the name, you're trying to get away from it. The organization's trying to get away from it.
Yep.
You're just going to walk that line, and this is where the line starts.
I believe in my fullest of heart of hearts. I understand it's a sensitive subject to any indigenous Native American tribes out here, and I do believe that there are some people in the Cleveland, Ohio area that love and they are proud of their Native American heritage, whether it's Blackfoot, Apache, or whatever tribe that it is. And if they want to wear a headdress, that's fine. If you are supporting your heritage, you should be able to do that. Now, the red face, I can admit that can be a little bit disgraceful or anything like that, because you don't see on Jackie Robinson Day nobody's wearing blackface paint. They're all probably wearing number 42, which it should be. So the headdress, fine. The red face, yeah, it can go because Chief Wahoo is no longer there. But their team are the Cleveland Indians. I believe the headdress is out of full respect for the culture, the community, for the team, and also for the franchise, guys. Now, before we get into that, I forgot what I was about to say.
You forgot, so we're not getting into whatever you were going to say? Because you changed your mind because you forgot what you were going to say?
I will bounce off you like a ball.
Like Rubber, like the movie?
Flubber.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I screwed up there. But Ryan, what are your thoughts? Did you end up finishing up with what you were saying on that whole entire idea with the dress code for Progressive Field?
Oh, that was it. It's just a natural progression of things that they're going to, they already took, Wahoo off of things. It's just a natural progression of now getting people used to the fact that this isn't going to be it. This is not the team name anymore.
This is the new normal.
Yeah, this is not the team name anymore. We have a new trademark, whatever that might be, when it might be, but still, again, like I said, it's the start of the line going towards the new name of the organization.
So shout out to Ed_in_Columbus on Twitter asking, is that a Jabril Peppers 22 jersey? If so, he needs to be 25 yards away like one with the Browns.
Easy now. Easy now. Hey, I bought this Jabril Peppers jersey about 2 weeks or 3 weeks after he made that game-ending sack against Denver, and then about a month later he was traded to the Giants, and I was like, well, so now I wear it like almost as like a friendly reminder to myself to never buy anything with somebody's name on it that's not the organization, and yeah, it's just a reminder to myself. Honestly, that's why I still wear it.
Anyway, Stephen R., I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, I got a story to bounce off that. I remember when I was in Cleveland, Ohio, around the 2013, 2014 time. Because me and LeConte are not the same person. I don't care what Keith says. I believe...
I'm able to text both of them, so I don't know what he's thinking.
Exactly. So I believe there was a time in my life where I picked up a cashmere little uniform T-shirt from my local thrift store in Cleveland, Ohio.
Is Macklemore there?
Huh. Come to realize we gotta let him go to the Angels prior to that week, and that shirt was brand new. It was fresh, and I said, nobody wants to buy this. So your man went off and bought it, and I realized he was traded, and I felt like I was down in the dumps. It's Cashmere.
Oh, okay, Scott Cashmere.
Scott Cashmere. Oh, shoot. I forgot we had him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once upon a time. Or else even, what about the most unique jersey probably out there that didn't last that long, but Casey Kochman.
I've seen me some Kochmans. No weird stuff.
You've seen them on, like, certain websites?
Not with mustard on them.
Damn. Anyways, though, Stephen R., what are your thoughts on the fact that the NFL is going to a 17-game season now?
Is it? Is it official?
It's official. They're going to have 17 games
official.
now.
I woke up in
I don't care. I love it. Hey, as much football as I can get. We only get 16 weeks of that. Well, 17 now. We only get 17 weeks of that, and we only get one game a week. I want to see as much football as possible. So
NFC, AFC matchups lined up by whichever division. So I think the North plays the West. So AFC North will play the NFC West. Browns will play the Cards because we were third place in the division. Cards were third place in the division. It'll go that way through the entire. They'll match the divisions up, and whoever was first, second, third, fourth, they'll play each other on the 17th game this year.
Oh wow.
So we've got a rematch with Kyler Murray and Cardinals.
And I want to see the Cleveland Browns take on J.J. Watt down there and those little weird little birds down.
They started with all the this was planned and everything else. Like, it's just coincidence. But
Exactly. I'm loving the 17-week schedule because the quote Mr. Vin. Oh, of course. But at the end of the day, they get to go to their nice houses in the Bay Village and the Strongsville Heights or whatnot. You'll be okay. Play football for day 17.
I heard they're all living at Bill Cowher's house in Strongsville.
I'll take that back.
Is Mike Holmgren still there?
It depends on the top guys don't like it. The guys at the bottom that are getting paid league minimum and things like that, they're going to like it because that's one more paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. And going off of that now, too, so since last year you had Bruce Arians and the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl, Bruce Arians ended up getting the Super Bowl 50 whatever logo tattooed on him, and Tom Brady got a tattoo on his leg of Bruce Arians drinking a beer during the parade.
Is that what it is?
Yes, he has Bruce Arians, like, cartoon cutout with a beer in his hand. So the Buccaneers, to be honest, they're both going to end up remembering this for a long time now because it's tattooed on you.
I remember Kansas City. They won the Super Bowl, right? Travis Kelce looked at Andy Reid and said, "We got rings together. We're married."
Yeah, that's a very accurate point.
If you technically think about it, you're married to the game. It's a love-hate relationship.
Those people that you played that game with, your history, you made history together, so obviously.
Exactly. I can see you at the grocery store. I didn't like you when we were on the field, but hey, we accomplished something together as teammates, on the field, and a childhood dream, as you would say.
Yeah, and everybody was on the same goal, so you have to respect for those people for that reason.
Absolutely.
But still, you were teammates, so that was just one of those things.
It's always the fact that you're always gonna have those memories, and I think that's what makes sports that much better because you always have the guys look back at it. I guarantee you know somebody that has some kind of NBA championship tattoo from 2016. I guarantee you know somebody that has that tattooed on them. That's just the way life is.
Bad calls are the best ones where they get the tattoo before it happened.
Yeah. Oh. Imagine if you were at your tattoo artist during the Falcons being in the lead 28-3, and then the second half happens.
I guarantee you. There's probably hundreds that happen.
If I was an Atlanta Falcons fan and I went to the tattoo parlor and I decided to get a tattoo in the middle of that game, before Tom Brady came back, I would go back to the tattoo parlor and have them tattoo on my chest, do not resuscitate. That's a fact.
Stephen R., we got about 10 minutes left. I want to hit on Justin Fields and a scout saying that he thought after seeing his workout that was one of the best workouts that he's seen by an Ohio State quarterback in a long time.
Now we talking workouts like what you and Riggs do at the gym with the dumbbells and one of them sweaty when they get done touching them from your hands?
Yes. We're talking about that, but like your workout for like the draft, your pro day.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I'm not talking about GNC pro days either.
First of all, speaking of pro days, anybody see that kid from BYU make that throw off his back foot, 65 yards?
I actually did not see it.
It was absolutely nuts. I mean, this dude's rolling to the left. He's a right-handed thrower. What's that?
He basically faded away. He did like an Aaron Rodgers type of throw.
It was one of the most impressive throws I've seen in a very long time.
It's nothing you might, like, it's one of those things, like, you look at it, it's impressive when nobody's coming at him, but then you look at it, it's like, will that happen in the game? You might have an opportunity, but you're going to get leveled. But, yeah, as far as actually nobody around and making that throw, yeah, it was a kick and spinning, that for sure.
Absolutely.
What's going to be impressive is when my app opens up around WrestleMania week, guys. Like,
So I have a question for you, Stephen R.
I have an answer.
What was your fondest memory in high school?
My fondest memory in high school. Steven, my high school was called PS 420 and a half Manhattan.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. One of my dearest memories in high school was the school dance. And let me tell you what happened at that school dance, Black Betty.
Was it a wham-a-lam, see you later, man?
Oh, it was a wham-a-lam, see you later, man, because after that we had went down to the Boston Gardens. We had snuck in to the Boston Gardens, and we almost wiped our butts on some Larry Bird memorabilia. But me and a lady named Peppercorn had the greatest time in our lifetime.
Peppercorn.
Peppercorn, damn it.
Okay. Is there anyone? Is that it? Like you just almost wiped your ass with a?
Almost wiped my ass with a Robert Parrish retirement jersey at the Boston Garden. Took us 5 weeks, 2 days, 27 minutes, and 19 seconds to get there.
Damn. All right. Does anybody else have a question for Stephen R. Smith? Because the R stands for ridiculous, and I just ridiculously screwed up. But right now, I want you to think about this. Think long and hard. But what's the strangest thing in your refrigerator right now? What's the strangest thing in your refrigerator, Austin?
Probably my sweet heat pickles that I just started getting from my friend. She makes them. They're so good. We do pickle bags with them. Absolutely delicious.
I've never had a pickle bag, honestly.
Oh, so good.
I should.
So
look at this pickle bag.
That's Nickelback.
Nickelback singing Photograph.
The weirdest, not yum yum sauce. Maybe like the week old cottage cheese.
So, where are you staying at? Are you staying with Riggs still, or are you at your Airbnb, your hotel? I know.
Oh,
did you move up here? Like, what's going on?
I got a little residence up here. I'm not gonna tell you where. I'm not gonna tell you what dumpster I'm located at or what boys and girls home your man is sleeping at. But your man is up here.
So I was gonna ask you do you have Riggs on social media?
Yeah, I got LeConte. I got Riggs on social media. We're damn good friends.
Ask him what the hell he was thinking by putting his championship belt in the fridge. Or did he tell you why he did that? Like
I was with Keith down there and trying to borrow some money.
Borrow some money, right?
For my app.
Oh man.
Right. Napster wants to sue me.
Napster?
Yes, Napster.
But you were taking a nap down in Columbus while trying to get money.
I mean, look, man.
We already discussed the Napster thing.
Thank you, MC No Walk. Hey, thank you so much. The voice of reason. Skip Bayless always commits treason.
All right, I gotta know at this point. I really have to know. Stephen R. Smith, do you think aliens exist?
I most certainly do think aliens do exist. And you want to know why I think aliens exist?
That's why I asked.
It's because out of 14 brothers and sisters, brother, I am the youngest. And out of that, I've seen some weird things, done some weird things, grown up in the streets of New York City, titty. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen weird, lanky, tall people that look like they were straight from out of this world.
Are you sure those aren't basketball players?
No, brother, they were not basketball players because, trust me, your man would have got an interview and then some with those boys.
Whoa!
Oh, damn.
Easy there, Stephen. All right, you got to be professional around here.
Listen,
Professional.
Take it easy, Rudy Giuliani.
But anyways, aliens. I've seen some weird-looking people.
Yeah, aliens do exist. You know, I think every single alien on this earth, they look like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. You know, the boss that looks like a malnourished Twinkie?
Yeah.
Mr. Burns. I believe all the aliens on the United States of the Americas all look like Mr. Burns. Greetings, my friend. That's what they look like. If my man Keith with the nice bling bling teeth was sitting right here, he would agree with me, and he would jump on my back, and he would rub my shoulder, and he would say, Stephen R., I agree with you. And I know people who also agree with you. And then Tyler would be over there laughing, giggling, dancing, laughing so hard we don't even hear any sound coming out. It's the man human, damn it.
All right, this is a question that Ryan has, Austin, me, but Stephen R.
When a man loves a woman and they decided they really want to get down, the man has to get his...
Keep going.
He has to get his flaccid member. No, that's getting too deep.
All right, hold on. Ed from Columbus has a question.
Ed from Columbus, I won't take your question too lightly. Oh, damn it.
Why do doctors call their offices their practice? Shouldn't they be done practicing?
Never stops practicing.
Yeah. Hey, professional athletes don't stop practicing.
Exactly, but there's some doctors out here who do practice. They do practice one something. Malpractice. Can I believe that's what happened to your boy Eljrunas sleeping with the Zizo Gauskas with the toes? That man could have probably played another 5 to 6 years of basketball. But those doctors, they probably didn't know what they're doing. They probably left a bunch of screws and washers and the WD-40 little skinny red thing down in his toes. Malpractice, malnourished, malfunction, meow.
Stephen R., but we wanted to know because a couple weeks ago you said that you went to school, but the schools you listed didn't even involve journalism. So I don't even know how you're in this field, but where do you get your news from? Where do you get it from? Do you just pull it out of your ass?
I have strict, vibrant, good
You're vibrant in your ass?
I have good connections. I'm the biggest sports analyst in the entire world. You know it. Max knows it. MC knows it. He knows it. And that dude Parker Pierce, he even knows it. This is how I got my journalistic degree. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I'm waiting for
When I left college, I went to a trade school. I went to the Kmart trade school. And when I went to the Kmart trade school...
They didn't close down by the time you got there?
No, they was. I went to the Kmart trade school. And in that Kmart trade school, I met somebody named Lionel. And Lionel told me, you like sports? Me and Lionel sat down. We went to a couple classes. We went to Sports 101, Sports 102, Sports 103, and then Sports Center Field. Now, Sports Center Field, that was like your 12th grade. That was like your senior class. And once I passed that, I was in there like swimwear. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get the point to a point, but...
You see me on the 4-letter networks. You see me on television, right?
Yeah, I've seen you on occasion. It's just sometimes you
the
don't
next
like
time I'm on
up.
this show, I'm gonna actually bring my degrees on this show, and I'm gonna have to do a little bit of flexing.
I guarantee you, it's just a piece of paper that he prints out.
I'm gonna have to do some flexing.
No, it's gonna be written in crayon.
I deserve this degree, and
I
I'm
am
a $20 bill.
I am 12.
I'm gonna have to flex with my credentials. I'm gonna have to flex with the credentials. Show you the house payment. Show you the ring that I pawned off.
You said you're in a dumpster. How do you have a payment?
I said I could be by a dumpster.
Hey, Republic Services still charged for pickup.
He didn't say that he was in a dumpster. He said, I'm not telling you where I am, what dumpster, what this, what that. He put out a bunch of them trying to throw it down.
All right, so I got some questions from some softball people, and they want to know what Stephen R. Smith, they want to know your thoughts on softball. They want to talk softball with you, man.
Look, let me tell you, this is what I think about softball out there. Softball, I love how the ball, it looks cautious. You could be able to see it at night. You see that thing whipping, coming at you, screaming, which is a new term that I heard when that ball's coming at you, Jack. The ball comes screaming at you, and looks like one of the crash test dummies from the 90s is being thrown right at you. Now let's go back to softball on the ESPN side. I like the fact that the women also play softball. The man Stephen R., which is me, follow me on all forms, sorts of social media. I follow all that, Jack. Softball's great. Softball, I believe, should have at least be on national television when baseball's not on television to fill the void for some people out there that's missing the smell of a dugout and a warning track.
All right, hell yeah. So
heavens no, hell yes.
Last question before we end up wrapping things up. Unless if you want to have 2 questions, then we could end up taking it home from here. But your second to last potential question. What's wrong but sounds right?
What is the question?
What's wrong but sounds right to you?
What's wrong but sounds right to me? Amanda hug and kiss. When you call prank The Simpsons, when you prank somebody, say, can I speak to Amanda hug and kiss?
What about Phil McCracken?
Phil McCracken, but listen, I need a man to hug and kiss.
What about Hugh Jass?
Hugh Jass sounds wrong too.
It doesn't sound wrong to me.
It was so.
Yeah. Oh man, like what other names do we have? What about Jack? Is Jack around?
Jack's around.
Jack Mehoff?
Yeah, Jack Mehoff.
Jack. Oh, not Jack.
What about Howie Feltersnatch?
All right, we got one more question.
Good.
All right. Last question. What food is delicious but a pain to eat? You have to put in too much effort for it, but it's delicious to you, Stephen R. Smith.
Crab legs. Crab legs.
Honestly, I'd have to say crab legs too.
I'm gonna go with sushi, because when your man eats sushi, the roll comes off, and I feel like I'm eating electrical tape when I bite into some sushi. Another thing that's weird, your man hates bologna, because I'm not going to eat 2 things that someone can be full of, and that's crap and bologna. You get me on that one?
I got you.
Another thing I'm not going to eat, snails. Because when your man was porn on the streets, I've had to eat some things. Another thing that's very, very nasty to me to eat, anything from KFC.
What?
I'm a Popeyes man.
This question shifted to a different line of questions.
Because I'm trying to be professional.
You don't like chicken bowls?
No.
I can make one in my fridge.
The question was
Solar for Max.
That's a pain in the ass to eat. That's good.
That's a pain in the ass to eat? Well, I mean, to me, bologna will be a pain in the ass to eat. I'll have to do this with my nose, and it's just, look at it, smell it, touch it. It looks like someone's butt cheeks, probably. Bologna, correct? Oscar Mayer?
Wieners.
Never.
All right, Stephen Art. This is the last question. I promise you. But this is the best way to end the show. What riddles do you know? People are waiting.
My riddle that I know. You think I'm cute. You think I'm sexy. I got the looks. Just to drive the girls wild. Who am I?
They hear me walk. They hear me talk.
I make them feel like they're on
Cloud 9.
Who am I?
Just a sexy boy.
Damn.
Oh, man. Anyways, guys.
Basically.
All right, we have MC Nowalk, Ryan joining us, Austin, myself, Riggs was here, Stephen R. Smith is here. He's going to be back
Riggs
again.
ain't mad no more. Riggs is just going through a whole lot. And to that man that he said that stuff to, brother, I'm sorry. It's that, oh, shit. He's sorry. He's sorry.
He's not the same person, though, you know? So next week, make sure you check us out. Wednesday, 7:30 to 9:30. Stay tuned. Make sure to share. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, iHeartRadio. Stephen R. I want to hear it.
Are you back?
No, I don't sleep with glasses.
Oh.
There's a lot of things. Let me tell you what I do with my glasses. Eat. Fornicate.
What's fornicate mean?
Go to work.
Isn't that going to work? If you fornicate?
That too. Manscape.
Stephen R., what are your closing words, though? That's what I want you to get to.
My closing words are March Madness. For some of you teams, it's going to turn into March Sadness. And I wish everybody out there a happy and a great fruititious April 1st, jerks.
And last but not least, because we're going to do it, tomorrow's the day, baby. We got to say it on 3, and you better know what it is. It's Indians baseball. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to say it even though it offends people. Go Tribe.
Oh, yeah, go Tribe.
Your turn, Ryan.
I wasn't sure what you were going to say.
All right, there we go. All right, we'll be back next week, 7:30 to 9:30. We Like Sportz Podcast. Follow us, check us out, love us. Stay tuned to next week.
If you're
bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
Why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTS with a Z at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped. And use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.